I did mention yesterday that there is no need to sensationalize the US jobs number. Every time this report comes out on the first Friday of every month, all eyes and attention is on the US jobs number. I told you that now the story has changed and there are many moving parts which all have an impact. Therefore, we saw that the US jobs report, although was very positive, more than 290,000 jobs added in the month of December 2015, the market still tanked even after such a huge report in increase in jobs. Now, why did that happen? Now, there are too many moving parts, as I have told you before. China is just one piece of the puzzle, US jobs is another. Another is the inability of many central banks to be able to repress financial volatility in their respective financial markets. As time has passed, you would realize that the central banks are running out of ammunition, so as to say. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you is that they're running out of ability to be able to repress financial volatility. Every time a new crisis arises, the monetary policy starts working in direction of trying to repress the volatility arising out of that crisis, and you'll find that it is taking longer and longer to be able to repress that financial volatility. This is very similar to an infection that a patient has, right? Every time he gets some new ailment and a new type of infection arises, the same antibiotic is not working anymore. It's you need something new. Whereas the tools that the central banks have are pretty much just about the same. Well, they have tried quantitative easing 3 times in America. Unemployment has fallen, but there are question marks. But yet you find that the manufacturing indices are down. There are recessionary signs in most of the United States. Yet and in fact, not only in the US but also all across the world. In this scenario, global stock markets have to start reflecting reality sooner or later. Not only that, you also have to realize that the central bank's ability to use monetary policy by itself will not work very far. There will have to be fiscal tools like giving more tax breaks, tax deductions to people who invest in capital in intensive industries. There are how you can pump prime the economy, how various the infrastructure that is wearing off in America, how that can be financed, for example, through a public-private partnership. These are the things which will have to be now utilized more and more by the central banks going forward. So therefore, you will find in an era where there are so many moving parts, you cannot just sensationalize just jobs or the China factor and say, or call China factor as a fear factor and realize that this is the only thing that is going to impact global stock markets. There are 2016 will be a year, I predict, where one after the another crisis will start rolling one after the other. The moment you realize that one crisis is about to end, you'll find that there's another crisis which is in the waiting. In this environment, I would advise conservative investors, retail investors to stay on the sidelines. There are investments and pockets of opportunities, but this is not the time to make big bets on the stock market in an era where the global recession is looming large and stock markets are beginning to reflect the reality after a long period of time. Central banks are losing their teeth, their ammunition to be able to dictate the monetary policy as a tool to effectively curb financial volatility, and this is definitely going to have a tremendous impact in world financial markets. This is the first time that you find that almost every central bank, whether it is the Federal Reserve in the US, whether it's the Bank of England, whether it's the Reserve Bank of India, Bank of Tokyo, all of them are realizing that their ability to be able to fight various trends in the world economy are running out of steam. And therefore, investors, please stay on the sidelines till better times arise. Take care. Happy investing. Bye bye.